better way to show stuff that is believable. I had prepared something else, I had a speech, I had all the things, and then I thought when the mayor was saying she's going to have time with entrepreneurs after this to discuss the activities that the city has embarked on, I thought it is proper for Old Mutual Masisizane Fund to show you the work that we've done from the entrepreneur's perspective. It would have been one thing for me to stand here and talk about theory. We all know that we're looking for believable mentors, believable role models. Not a lot of us in South Africa, especially black women, have access to funding, access to mentorship, access to skills. We need those stories. All those clients that are there on that video are our clients. I have never seen wheat in my life until I worked for Old Mutual Masisizane. And that is a black farmer that performed the best out of the 25 farmers we have in Matatiela, with about 6.5 average tons per hectare, which is something that is not usually achieved by a black farmer, especially a young one below the age of 30. We're struggling to get people in agriculture. We struggle to get youth into agriculture, and I always ask people, including my family, where do you think the food is coming from? If you think agriculture is not the coolest thing to do, where do you think the food that you're eating comes from? So it is important to have conversations amongst the table when we're eating. My colleague spoke about access to education, challenges that female entrepreneurs have. But if we sit around the table when we are at home and talk about the importance of entrepreneurship from a young age, then we are changing the script of a black child. So all the things that we do for black entrepreneurs, for women entrepreneurs, let us begin with baby steps to change the script and make sure that the future generations don't face the same barriers that were highlighted by my colleagues earlier. So I'm not going to go through my speech, but I want to say to you, I hope that video inspires you. There are aspiring entrepreneurs, there are entrepreneurs that are already in business that are struggling. Some of the entrepreneurs that you've seen there, it took them 20 years to get to that point. We've got a client that came to us, it's called CTU Manufacturing Cooperative. They came to us looking for 800,000 because they had a purchase order that they couldn't fulfill. They were on the verge of closing down because they had lost everything, but they had this purchase order. To tell you good news is that we walked the journey with that entrepreneurs. It was 2 women, and from revenue of about 1.5 million, they are over 40 million, they're generating over 40 million revenue and have employed about 100 people. And what they do is that they take interns from universities and make sure that they develop them in terms of training and on-the-job training. So there are good stories out there. I want to encourage you. It's difficult to be an entrepreneur. It's not a child's play. I've been one, and I decided to come back to corporate. Maybe I'll go back, Doc. We need people that are going to be believable, show us that this can be done, so that we create not only, buy and sell businesses, we create legacy businesses that are going to be left for our kids, and the future generations. So if you're not inspired today, I really don't know what it is that will inspire you. And then lastly, just because you're a woman doesn't mean you're sick, doesn't mean you can't do what men do. But I also want to say we don't live in isolation. Let us pull the girl child. Let us pull the boy child. Let us make sure that as a nation, not only in South Africa, in the rest of Africa, as a black nation, we make sure that we pull as we rise up. So Africa rise. Thank you.